Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. What a mind of a game. Let's start with the story. You play as Raziel, the loyal son of Vampire King Kain. You have served him for thousands of years, and after revealing that you have evolved as a vampire by growing wings, well, Kain didn't like that shit. So he rips out the bones from your wings with his bare hands, and then throws you into a vortex of water and lost souls, which happens to be extremely corrosive to vampire flesh, therefore acting like acid. Oh yeah, and it's for all of eternity.
Damn!
Here's where things get real crazy. A being known as the Elder God resurrects Raziel and then tells him to avenge himself by destroying Kain and all his brethren, therefore releasing their souls into oblivion. And so now, playing as Raziel, the Elder God explains that the thirst you have is no longer for blood, but for your enemies' souls. Yeah, that's right. After you murder your vampire enemies by impaling them, you then can eat their souls for health. But I've got to be honest, this doesn't even begin to fully explain how insanely awesome and complex this story really is. At one point when you first fight Kain, he has a sword called the Reaver, which shatters when he uses it against Raziel, which then reveals that the sword had its own soul, and that binds to Raziel's arm, which can now be used to essentially murder the vampires faster and eat their souls too? I don't know, but this shit is f***ing nuts. The game is packed with gorgeous cutscenes, astonishing landscapes, and areas to be discovered. Incredibly detailed bad guys, one of the most entertaining storylines I've ever heard in a game, cool and scary as all hell boss battles, and for every boss you defeat, you gain a new special ability that you need in order to progress in the game. There's also a fair share of platforming and puzzles to solve, which kinda sucks to have to do. I would have to say that this game is kinda like if Tomb Raider, Zelda, and Metroid all had a baby and then turned it into a vampire. Basically, the actual gameplay mechanics are unbelievably addictive and amusing to say the least. It's in this aspect where the game really shines. The wings that were broken are not entirely useless. You can use them to glide if you want. The actual impaling of the vampires is pretty enjoyable. A little too enjoyable. And the eating of their souls after you murder them is quite rewarding. But by far the coolest feature that this game has is Raziel's ability to travel back and forth into the Soul Realm and the Living Realms. The Soul Realm alters certain aspects of reality once crossed and are an absolute necessity for some of the puzzles you have to solve. You can make things weightless, lower certain pillars that were once too high to reach, or turn small cracks in the wall into hidden pathways to travel into newly discovered areas. This was one of the first games that left me speechless, with its beautiful atmosphere, compelling story, gorgeous cutscenes, and amazing artwork and landscapes. It's a game that rewards you for thinking and for having patience, and it's all extremely badass. That is why Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver gets a load of stars.